Go for it.
Okay, my name is Alexandra Chauran, and I live in Issaqua, Washington State. I am a 32-year-old married mom to 2 kids. My husband and I have been together about a decade, and my kids are Eris, she's 2, and Orion, he's 1 year old. And during the day, I am in a doctoral program for public administration, and I write books for a publisher, and I am a fortune teller as well as an extra gig. And I practice British traditional Wicca.
Okay. So how do you manage balancing everything? That's a lot.
Yeah, I love it. This is how I thrive, and I believe that magic helps me get everything that I want, and I certainly live an awesome life, so I think I'm proof of magic working.
Okay. How did you stumble into becoming fluent in magic or picking it up? Like, is it a religion? Is it a practice? Like, explain to me how you got into it and how does it work for you?
Sure. For me, British traditional Wicca is a religion, and it's an initiatory religion. So that means that I joined by being I am an elder, so I get to connect with other people and train them. So I've learned magic that way, and we practice magic in many different forms. So, there's everything from chanting or singing to more of the stuff you might see on TV where, working with little tools in our hands and tying knots in rope and, working with puppet dolls or all kinds of ways to make magic work.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you've experienced as a witch that weren't necessarily so positive? What are some of the things that have happened to you where people were kind of like not so accepting of who you are and what it is that you practice?
Well, most people are super cool. Most people would just think it's maybe silly or a little bit scary. Like when I wrote a book about Ouija boards, people were really freaked out by that. But when I was an undergraduate at the university, I received some abusive stuff. Since I started a pagan student group there, I became the target to some behavior. My tires were slashed on 5 separate occasions. And I had some nasty stuff written on my car, like, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live," and they left a dead bird, and it was, like, all kinds of gross. So it was pretty awful, and that lasted about a year and a half, and I had to call the cops a lot, and it was a big, horrible deal, but glad that's over with.
Okay. And then explain to me how you do your practice. Like, is it something you do every day, all day? Is it something you do one day a week? Is it something that you do when you get with the people in your coven? Like, how does it work for you?
Sure. It's kind of multiple levels. I mean, on one hand, it's a lifestyle. It's the way I look at the world. I believe that I have magic and that I can use magic every day, anytime I want, in order to get what I want. And I say my prayers every day to my gods, just like other religious people might. I also have a religious practice with my family. My husband is learning witchcraft, and my kids are learning about the gods. And I also have a practice with my coven, which means that we meet every time that there's a full moon, and for the 8 Sabbats, which are Wiccan holy days. So we meet together and do special coven-only stuff during those times. Oh, and I'm also really heavily involved with the witch community here. So I have a witch discussion group every Sunday at my house. And I also go out and attend public circles and events all the time. Like I'm going to one tomorrow.
Okay. I asked you earlier, how did you get involved with it? Of course, that's when everything kind of got all screwy. Tell me how you got involved with witchcraft. Like, what motivated you to say, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is what I want my practice to be.
Parents growing up, so they always encouraged me to do whatever with what I liked. And my mom has dabbled with witchcraft herself, so when I started wondering about magic in the world, she told me to go for it. And they actually drove me to different witch events when I was a kid. And so they're really super cool parents. And I dedicated myself to studying witchcraft when I turned 18 and started that pagan student group at school and started looking around for training in British traditional Wicca. I wanted to be initiated into a coven. And it took me years of seeking before I was able to find a coven to actually be initiated into. So that finally happened about 6 years ago, and I trained heavily with them, and so now I've kind of reached the status where I can teach others, which is pretty cool.
Okay. Do you think that people can look at you and say, you know what, there's something different about her? Or do you think that when you walk down the street and you're with your kids and you're with your husband, no one would ever in a million years know that about you?
I don't think anyone would know it about me. I mean, they would. I think that I put off a certain amount of confidence that definitely comes from my spirituality, and so all of my people in life recognize me as a confident and happy person, but they wouldn't know why.
And then you were telling me too that magic gets you through every day. Like, what are some of the things that you do to get yourself through every day? Do you chant a spell when you're looking for a parking space? Do you do it when you first thing when you get out of the bed, when you're about to prep for a test? Like, tell me how you incorporate it into your everyday.
Yeah, I mean, first thing when I get out of bed, definitely, and my kids and I pray before meals, and I teach them to pray. I've got a family altar. That's kind of the first thing you see when you walk in our door, and the whole family uses that for when it's like something important. Even the kids, they're tiny, small, but if there's something important in your heart that you're worried about, you can put something on the altar, like a flower, or the husband will put like a bill there or whatever, like something that you're worried about or want changed. Then we do magic that way. We recently sold our old house, and my husband and I worked lots of magic for that. And so, and I pray all the time, like whenever I'm stressed out or afraid, or if I want to get somewhere on time, I'll say a quick chant or sing a song. My little 2-year-old and I do circle dances where she learn some of the witch songs and dance with me. So it's really kind of suffused into daily life.
So how forthcoming are you? Like, I talked to someone a little while ago that told me they can't really talk about their coven. They can't really show anyone their practice, but they can mention the fact that they do practice witchcraft. How forthcoming are you? Would you be open to, say, if the cameras were to come to your house and you and your family are in the house together, would you guys be able to chant together? Would you guys be able to pray together? Like, how does it work?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm really public. I'm an author in witchcraft, and so people know that I'm a witch. So I'm cool being on camera and saying I'm a witch and showing all about, my personal practice. My husband would probably be game for and yeah, definitely you could watch me circle dancing with my daughter on camera. She would love that. She's a huge ham. The place where I draw the line is my coven itself, like not your discussion group or the other groups. The coven itself, I haven't talked to any of the members, but it's always up to them, like we don't out people as witches unless they're okay with it. But one of the members of my coven already said that he was like totally game for it, so, there's that. So you probably wouldn't be able to see the in your workings of our coven stuff because we're naked anyway, so you probably can't even put that on camera.
Wait a minute, go back. Wait a minute. So
definitely see my daily life stuff of, me praying and the family altar, and I have a circle room that's sacred. Pardon?
So explain this to me. You said you guys are naked in your coven circle?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I didn't expect that. I'm learning as I talk to people and ask questions about their practice and how it works and the covens, and I'm learning all this stuff. So I'm really like surprised to hear some of the details. Okay. Um
Yeah, so you could definitely film me wearing clothes, doing my daily practice and stuff, and celebrating and showing you the ins and outs of how to do magic. But like I said, the coven specific things, like the things we do on moons and the things we do on Sabbats, are kind of like special and private and sacred and naked. So they're probably inappropriate for TV. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't get together with, like I said, there's tons of witch events around here that I go to, and I hold a discussion group every Sunday. So it's like there's lots of opportunities to get together with people and do magic that isn't our private coven stuff.
wow. Okay, so other than the fact that you practice witchcraft, like what are the things that make you kind of unique and fun and quirky and special that might be similar to a woman that doesn't practice witchcraft? Like what, tell me about you as a person.
Sure. I really love to dance. I love belly dance so much. And so I love to go belly dancing, and I love to get together with girlfriends and go to belly dancing classes and stuff. So that's super fun. I'm just getting into running, so I'm trying to learn how to run a 5K and like do charity runs and stuff like that. My kids and I volunteer every week at a nursing home, and so we go and brighten their day and stuff. They're all the old folks are really happy to see the babies and stuff. So that's like a big part of my life too. I love to volunteer, donating blood, stuff like that. I'm a huge weather nerd, so I keep track of rainfall data and stuff like that. I don't know if that's interesting. That's probably kind of boring. And my husband and I really love animals, so we love going to the zoo and stuff. And yeah, so we've got lots of interests.
Okay. Well, reintroduce yourself for me.
And we love motorcycles too. Sure. My name is Alexandra Chauran, and I am from Issaqua, Washington State.
And then back to this motorcycle thing. I think we have like a delay between the two of us. Tell me about the motorcycle thing.
Sure. I love motorcycles, and so does my husband. And he's currently fixing up a really old motorcycle so we can ride it. So that's pretty cool. So we're just into lots of little hobbies like that. We love to do stuff all the time. I'm learning how to play the ukulele, so trying to get together with people and jam,
So you're a regular woman doing regular things. You just happen to know how to cast spells.
Yeah, that's why my life is so awesome.
All right, I'm going to turn the recorder off.